What's up? What up? What up? It's your boy John G. Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and tell your friends about me. But ultimately, what I want to use this video, well, I'm going Mark Holmes style today, but I want to use this video to talk about the number 19 pick and how valuable that is to the start of our offseason ultimately. I think that when you have a pick that's in the middle rounds or in the late rounds, what you ultimately have to do is make sure that you're getting the right fit on your team. Now, I know that a hot button position is the wide receiver, and I'm going to tell you why we should probably move away from that. And here's a couple thoughts. So what changed from 2016 to 2017? Or why were we so successful in 2014? Well, ultimately, our culture was established on Smash Mouth football. And what did we lose between 2016 and 2017? We lost Ronald Leary. And, you know, that hurt us. Not only from a Smash Mouth football aspect, but from a depth aspect, because when we had Ronald Leary, we also had Collins, where Collins could jump out to tackle or he could play guard. And that helped us tremendously. So also a couple of things that we lost were we lost Sean Lee and we lost Hitchens for a good portion of the year. So if you want to build a championship culture, there's two things that you have to be able to do. You have to be able to run the ball, in my opinion, and you have to be able to tackle well. Now, so ultimately what it comes down to is controlling the line of scrimmage. So that's two things that's important to me. As far as Ronald Leary goes, we lost the ability to get to the second level of runs, and we also lost the ability to keep the pocket clean. And not only losing Ronald Leary, we lost Tyron Smith for a good portion of the year too, or not even just losing him physically, but we lost him because, well, yeah, mostly physically, because he wasn't the same player that he was because he had a torn up back. So what we have to do is, in my opinion, at number 19, we could either move back or stay there and kind of get somebody to come in and play that left guard spot. And the reason that I say that is Cooper is pretty cool. He's pretty good. But just imagine if we could have one of the best guards, or maybe one of the best tackles that converts to a guard, moving in right there. Then we shirt up the depth right there. Because, in my opinion, a guard tackle type would be perfect, because if Tyron does go out again, we can just slide that person out and put Cooper in. It sounds easier said than done, but I believe that a swing tackle, swing guard, or something like that is it's something that we need, and we can create that by drafting somebody that we can plug in day one and moving Cooper back. Also, when I touched on the linebacker position a little bit earlier, when we lost Hitchens and Lee, that's definitely a position that we get thin at, and we get thin at it quick, and it's happened over the last course of the years. Here's something that's a fact. Sean Lee is injury prone. And if we can get somebody in to become another understudy, like Jalen Smith started picking it up towards the later end of last year. We don't want to be in a position where we're without Sean Lee again and all chaos breaks loose. I'd much rather have two understudies. That way, when Sean Lee eventually does move on in his career, or we decide to trade him, or we decide to cut him or whatever, we're straight. Now, I don't know if people remember, but when we had Rolando McClain in there without Sean Lee, we were fine. The defense was fine. That was in the 2014 year. I believe it was 2014. Yeah, the 2014 year, exactly. So I think that if we can shore up the linebacker position, which there are some linebackers that are going to be available at that slot. Another position that we can shore up ourselves is the safety position. Now, we've always tried to convert guys. What if a safety is there for us to pick? Or like Derwin James, for example, which he very well could slide, seeing how quarterbacks are becoming so important in this draft. There's a possibility that we have 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round, which is very good for us, because this puts us in a position to get any of the type of guys that I touched on, whether it's a lineman, a linebacker, or a safety. Now, the receiver position, I don't think is as important as any of the 3 that I mentioned, because when I remember back in 2016 when we didn't have Dez for a couple games and we didn't miss a beat. As a matter of fact, there are times this year where Dez is subbed out, Bryce Butler has come in, and we didn't miss a beat. Now, I don't think Bryce Butler will be back, but we can replace Bryce Butler's we can replace him with a second round or maybe a first rounder that falls there, whether it's Calvin Ridley or somebody else. But ultimately, being that we can replace Dez's productivity with somebody like Bryce Butler lets me know that that position isn't as important as losing, let's say, losing Tyron Smith or losing the guard or losing Sean Lee. So let me know what you guys think. I personally believe that we could pick up a receiver with the number 50th or the 81st pick, but we need a receiver, but we don't necessarily need to take one in the first round. But like I said, like, subscribe, and tell your friends about me, guys. All right, peace.